let's start with the bans for the two Castres players. Rory Kockott has gotten 3 weeks for a fairly flagrant eye gouge on Chris Cloetee, and Marc-Antoine Rallier has gotten a solitary week for tipping Peter O'Malley onto his head. So would you say they were reasonably lenient bans, Murray?
The Rallier one was probably what you expected. Should have been a red card at the time, is what the disciplinary committee were saying. The Kockott one for me is very, very light. I think the distinction there is the contact is with the eye area rather than the eye, and they split those two things a couple of years back, and the low entry point for eye area is now 4 weeks. But for me, it's too low. For me, it's the most disgusting thing almost you can do on a rugby pitch is go near someone's eyes, potentially blinding them, with no other possible positive outcome. You know, when you tackle someone high, the possible positive outcome was a big hit if you got that legal. If you're kind of scratching around at someone's face, apart from a horrible act, and probably one that's done in the heat of a game when there's a lot of adrenaline and Cass had gone out to really disrupt Munster. But for me, 3 weeks for that is just not enough. I don't know. I remember playing in France, lower leagues, but it was rife over there. And I remember it happening to me. Your man didn't get his finger into my eye, but it's the most frightening thing, you know, someone scrabbling around. And I just think it's disgusting, really, to be honest.
Particularly when you can't defend yourself. Like Cloetee
exactly.
in that situation is
your
buried.
hands are pinned and that. And it was brought to Barnes' attention. In fairness, he kind of referenced it to the siding commissioner. But I just think, just get it out of the game, even if it's not deliberately trying to get into his eye. It's just a dangerous area to be in, and 3 weeks for me is not enough.
You mentioned the heat of battle there. Like, Andy, I don't know if that would be a person's natural inclination in the heat of battle.
No,
it's
not at all.
if you were in a scrap, even on the street, which I never have been, but if you were, I don't think you're going for the guy's eyes.
No, it's low down kind of ratty stuff. Joe Pesci and Goodfellas.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's just not. I fully agree, Murray. I can't fathom why it's such a low ban. I mean, it's not going to eradicate anything by giving someone 3 weeks. So and I don't get where that instinct comes from. Even like you said, in a guttural moment when you're pinned, you know, or you're in trouble or your back's to the wall, to stick your finger in someone's eye, it doesn't fit. It seems to be a cultural thing in French rugby as well. It's been going on years, but it doesn't happen in England. It doesn't happen in the Pro 14. It doesn't happen in South Africa and New Zealand. Like, I don't know why it's prevalent so much in French rugby, but it is.
It's a dirty game over there.
It is.
I wouldn't recommend anyone going down the leagues there, to be honest, unless you like brawling. If brawling is your thing, then get stuck in.